Archangel Michael says, your childhood was a setup, and one relative wasn't who they pretended to be. A divine timeline has reopened. Your past wasn't random. Hear this now, not from a place of fear, but from the power of truth unchained. Archangel Michael, commander of heaven's hosts, speaks to your soul in this sacred moment, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by spiritual appointment. This is not a message for the many. This is a scroll sealed in spirit and unlocked only by the sensitivity of the chosen. This word is for those who feel the tremble in their spirit even now, who feel the shift in the air and the weight on their chest as truth prepares to awaken memory. This is a word for those who endured a past that did not make sense, for those who grew up beneath the gaze of eyes that pretended to love but secretly monitored, for those who were held but never healed, watched but never truly seen, encouraged, but only in ways that preserved your compliance. It is you who must hear this. Your childhood was not a matter of circumstance. It was a construct, a surveillance, a setup allowed by heaven to prepare you for divine uprising. There were whispers in your childhood, not of angels, but of watchers. Some were assigned not to protect you, but to report you, to diminish your light early, to dull your gifts before you ever learned their names. You were raised under influence, not innocence. Your foundation was laced with manipulation masked as mentorship, and a love that was weaponized to keep you small. They fed you limitations and called it tradition. They imposed fear and labeled it wisdom. But heaven kept a record, and heaven has now issued a summons. This message comes to disturb your false peace so that heaven can unlock your real power. You were never meant to remain comfortable in a story that was scripted to contain you. You were born to rupture cycles. You were chosen to confront generational illusion. And now, Archangel Michael blows the trumpet of divine interruption. Not to scare you, not to shame you, but to save you. Prepare your spirit. Prepare your memory. Prepare your perception. For what is about to rise may burn, but that fire is the sign that falsehood is being consumed. This message is not to be shared widely. It is sacred. It is coded. It will only resonate with those whose spirit has already been stirring. The spiritually sensitive, the divinely marked, the ones who knew all along that something was wrong, even when everyone else said it was right. If your heart races now, it is because your spirit recognizes the voice of Michael. Heaven has authorized this moment. Do not dismiss it. Remain in silence now. Receive in stillness. For the full download of this word requires your soul, not your mind. The veil between what was and what was hidden is now dissolving. The war you thought was behind you is revealing its true origin, and the angelic host is prepared to go before you. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding you. This is not an ordinary moment. Heaven interrupts you now, not just your scrolling, but your soul's rhythm. This is not entertainment. This is an encounter. Archangel Michael speaks not from a place of human influence but from divine authority. If you feel the pull, if you sense the shift in the atmosphere as these words hit your spirit, it is because you are the intended recipient of a sealed message. You have been chosen to hear what others would dismiss. You have been summoned to rise in a truth that may shatter illusions but will save your life. Listen closely. Your childhood trauma wasn't accidental. It wasn't just an unfortunate series of events. It was ordained, observed, recorded, not by man but by the realm of the divine. The tears you cried in secret, the confusion you swallowed silently, the betrayal you didn't yet have language for, all of it was seen. None of it was wasted, And now, in the next 72 hours, what was once memory will become revelation. What was once emotional chaos will become spiritual clarity. And someone, yes, someone close to your soul, someone you once trusted without question, will be exposed for who they truly were behind the mask. Do not mistake this feeling as paranoia. Do not let fear twist what is divine confirmation. This message does not come to haunt, it comes to heal. But healing must first uncover what hath been hidden. This is the fire before the flight. This is the shaking before the release. The one who stood near you, smiled at your milestones, and whispered affirmations in your presence. They wore the skin of loyalty, but harbored the spirit of sabotage. This is not gossip. This is not conjecture. This is heaven revealing what your discernment already suspected. You are not going crazy. You are coming into clarity. You are not being cooled by remembering. You are being freed by revelation. And this truth, it cannot wait. It will not delay. For your future demands the exposure of what was corrupted in your beginning. There is no coincidence that you are hearing this now. Archangel Michael has descended to deliver a scroll that only the chosen can receive. Your life is too precious. Your calling too vital. Your legacy too divine to be built on a foundation of lies. The light has come to burn away the shadows that kept you small. In the next 72 hours, expect emotional echoes. Watch for divine triggers. Pay attention to sudden flashbacks, dreams that disturb your sleep, or a name that comes up out of nowhere. These are not random. These are the alarms of heaven announcing the revealing. Stay grounded. Stay open. Do not resist what the Spirit is stirring. Only the chosen will receive this truth fully intact. Others may hear it and scroll past. Others may feel the tremble and dismiss it as coincidence. But not you. Because you were marked since birth for something holy. And the enemy knew it. That's why the attack came so early. That's why the confusion was planted so young. Because the darkness hoped that if they distorted your beginning, they could destroy your ending. But heaven says otherwise. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type I am anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1516 is now activated. There were whispers, glances, silences that spoke louder than any words. As a child, you brushed them off because you had no framework for what your spirit was sensing. There were moments you dismissed as confusion, odd behaviors, back-ended compliments, gifts that came with strange strings, a relative who seemed too invested yet emotionally distant. They hovered, but never truly held. They watched, but never really saw you. You felt unseen, but you were never unobserved. Listen closely. This is not just about what was done. It's about what was planted. You were placed in a garden of pretense, surrounded by individuals who cultivated your compliance, not your calling. You thought the strange behaviors were just quirks. You thought their silence was just shyness. But the truth is more piercing. There was a strategy behind the stillness, a motive behind the mentoring. You were being conditioned, not comforted. You felt the tension. You felt the unease. You noticed how they lit up when others succeeded, but dimmed when you did. You caught the subtle shifts in tone, the eyes that rolled when you dared to dream big, the way your joy seemed to irritate rather than inspire. These were not random emotional flukes, they were spiritual signals. Signs from heaven that someone near you was not who they pretended to be. There was a lie built into your comfort zone. The house you called safe was also the place where your spiritual identity was undermined. They didn't just doubt you, they feared you. Because even as a child, your light irritated their shadows. Your presence disrupted their illusion. You were the embodiment of what they never became. And envy wore the costume of mentorship. The one who smiled during family dinners. The one who called you special but rarely made space for your voice. The one who defended others yet left you to fight alone. You knew something was off, even if you did have the words. That was not immaturity. That was spiritual perception. That was heaven whispering early. And you heard it, even if you couldn't interpret it yet. They smiled in daylight, but conspired in shadows. Their love was layered, their support conditional. And your inner child hath been crying for clarity ever since. Today, that cry is being answered. This emotional disruption isn't just pain. It's proof. Proof that what you sensed was real. Proof that heaven is not ignoring your history. Proof that your trauma is being validated from realms higher than man's opinion. You are not overreacting. You are remembering. You are reawakening. And in this holy unveiling, the Spirit is revealing who they were and who you are. What you felt back then, it was spiritual tension. Your light battled their hidden darkness. Your innocence clacked with their unspoken envy. And though they tried to mask it with laughter and gifts, your soul always knew something was wrong. Today, heaven confirms what your heart has held silently for years. You were not imagining it. You were enduring it. The lie stops here. The mask is cracking. And you are being handed the authority to reclaim your truth and release their shadow. Type I receive this revelation in the comments if this resonates with you. Blessing code 2024 is breaking deception. Hear this now, not with earthly ears, but with the ears of your spirit. What you went through was not merely a sequence of human betrayals or family dysfunction. This setup was not just a misfortune orchestrated by people. It was a spiritual strategy, permitted by heaven, designed for the preparation of your purpose. Archangel Michael declares, your childhood was not an accident. It was an anointing wrapped in adversity. You are not the victim of your upbringing. You are the weapon, forged by it. Heaven allowed access to darkness not to destroy you, but to define you. You were raised in proximity to counterfeit love so that you would learn to discern authenticity when it truly comes. You were placed in an environment of spiritual interference so that your gift of spiritual perception would be activated early. You are not merely a survivor of strange surroundings, you are a warrior birthed in enemy territory. You were raised in Egypt, but destined for Canaan. Trained in shadows, but born for glory. They tried to break you early because your late blooming threatened them. Your destiny was too potent to be left unhindered. Your future was too luminous to be left unchallenged. The enemy knew that if he could not destroy you in infancy, he would distract you through family. So the conflict wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual warfare disguised as parenting, mentoring, or protection. What you thought was indifference was spiritual opposition. What you labeled as rejection was divine redirection. You are a warrior born in a false cradle. The people who held you did not honor the prophecy you carried. They saw you as potential competition, not covenant. They masked it as care, but what they feared was your clarity. Because once you saw the truth, you could no longer be controlled. Once you recognized the setup, you would step into sovereignty. The strange behaviors you witnessed growing up, they were not parental. They were strategic. Strategic distractions. Strategic containment. Strategic confusion. You were meant to question yourself, to doubt your gifts, to shrink your voice. Because the enemy hoped that if he could cripple your self-worth early, you would never rise into your divine roar. But he failed, and every attempt against you is now becoming a testimony of endurance. Every emotional bruise is now becoming a banner of victory. Your gifts were too pure to be ignored. Even in childhood, your spirit irritated the unclean. Your laughter disrupted generational sorrow. Your dreams threatened law-standing stronghold. The way you loved, freely, wildly, fully, they didn't understand it because it came from heaven, not from them. You are not the black sheep. You are the bloodline breaker. You are not the outcast. You are the outcry of generations that went unheard. And now, heaven is restoring the spiritual blueprint. The same gifts they tried to suppress are being ignited again. The same discernment they called paranoia is now being affirmed by divine revelation. Your awakening now is their failure manifesting. You were not buried. You were planted. And the fruit is beginning to show. So walk in clarity. Walk in confidence. This war was not in vain. This conflict was not without cause. It shaped you. It seasoned you. It sanctified you. And now, the heavens declare, you are stepping into spiritual visibility. No longer will you hide your strength to make others comfortable. No longer will you dilute your gift to maintain dysfunctional peace. Rise. Love. Declare. Type I am awakened in the comments if your spirit bears witness. Blessing code 4747 is preparing your elevation. Heed the sacred warning. The veil is thinning. What was once hidden behind smiles and sealed in family silence is now trembling under divine pressure. The season of pretense is collapsing. The curtain between what they did and what you sensed is being pulled back, not by human hands but by heaven's command. Archangel Michael has drawn his sword not to frighten you, but to cut through the web of deception that has tangled your destiny since youth. The spiritual realm is in motion. The truth is stirring. Secrets are breaking through, and the confrontation you've avoided is now stepping toward you. Someone you know, someone familiar, someone whose words once mattered, someone whose affection shaped your sense of safety, is beginning to feel the weight of exposure. They feel your shift. They see your rising. They sense your distance. And now, under the increasing pressure of spiritual unveiling, their grip is slipping. Their control is unraveling. Their influence is cracking. They are trying to re-enter the story, not to bring healing, but to reassert false order. They feel the fire of your awakening, and they are terrified. Expect sudden contact. Expect odd timing. Expect phone calls masked as concern. Casual conversations laced with guilt. Messages that sound kind but hit your spirit sideways. These are not divine connections. They are emotional traps disguised as reconciliation. Watch for guilt trips wrapped in soft voices. Watch for compliments that come after long absence. Watch for phrases like, "I was just thinking of you," or "We should catch up soon." These are not invitations. They are tactics. Emotional bait. Strategic movements from someone who senses that their time of spiritual control over you is ending. Within the next 72 hours, something will occur that may seem insignificant on the surface, but it will stir something deep within your soul. A phrase, a name, a gesture, a message. It will remind you. It will trigger you. It will shake the dust off memories you buried for the sake of peace. Don't run from it. Don't suppress it. This is not about reliving trauma. This is about reclaiming truth. Heaven is orchestrating a divine disruption. Not to torment you, but to train you. To awaken your spiritual instincts. To sharpen your discernment. To prove that you were never crazy, only chosen. They will act as if nothing happened. They will pretend the past was just a misunderstanding. They will use familiar tones to disarm you. But your soul will recognize the dissonance. Your spirit will recoil even if your heart feels drawn. Don't ignore that tension. It is divine communication. The Holy Spirit is your compass in this moment. What you feel is not confusion. It is clarity in disguise. This moment, right now, is a spiritual tipping point. The confrontation is not just with a person. It is with the spirit behind the person. A spirit of manipulation. A spirit of guilt. A spirit of seduction that comes not through lust but through emotional control. Heaven is saying, you are done being manipulated by memories. You are done feeling obligated to the ones who orchestrated your oppression. You are done dressing up dysfunction to keep the peace. The pressure you feel now is not punishment, it is preparation. The confrontation is not for revenge, it is for release. You are being positioned for your next level, and your next level cannot carry the weight of this unspoken history. You must face it but not fight it. You must acknowledge it but not absorb it. You must see it for what it is and let heaven handle what you cannot fix. This is not your battle, it is heaven's exposure. Your role is not retaliation, it is revelation. Archangel Michael is flanking your side even now. Angelic hosts have surrounded your space. Heaven has already gone ahead of you. What you must do is stand. Stand in spiritual authority. Stand in emotional sobriety. Stand with the understanding that silence is not weakness. It is strategic warfare. You don't need to yell. You don't need to explain. You don't even need to respond. Your discernment will do the speaking. Your peace will be your resistance. When they approach you, say less and watch more. Let your posture preach. Let your spirit speak louder than your mouth. Do not lower yourself to their illusion. You've outgrown the game. You've outgrown the guilt. You've outgrown the lie. You were once the child who needed their approval. Now you are the warrior who carries heaven's assignment. That shift is unsettling to them, and that is your confirmation. If their apology doesn't bring peace, it was never real. If their presence disrupts your clarity, it's not restoration, it's rehearsal. Don't fall afraid. This is your divine moment. When the veil tears and the actors appear, you will know exactly what to do. Stay rooted. Stay armored. Stay free. Type I stand in power in the comments if you are prepared for what's coming. Blessing code 777 is your shield. Stillness is not passivity. It is protection. Archangel Michael calls you now into a divine silence, not to hide you, but to shield you. You are under spiritual watch. You are covered by forces unseen, wrapped in heavenly intelligence that moves in perfect timing. What is about to be exposed is not your assignment to uncover. What is about to crumble is not yours to tear down. It is already in motion. The wheel of divine justice is turning. The investigation is complete. The evidence is in heaven's hands. All you are required to do now is be still, because what heaven is exposing was never your weight to carry. Do not confront them yet. Don't even respond to their sudden friendliness, their renewed interest, or their vague apologies. This is the task of restraint, not retaliation. Your silence is your power. Your stillness is your sword. Let them wonder. Let them reach. Let them second-guess your peace. Because in this moment, heaven is doing what your voice could never accomplish. Heaven is speaking where your words would fall short. Heaven is unveiling what your heart dared not accuse. Let spiritual discernment speak louder than your tongue. The Spirit is active. The Spirit is investigative. The Spirit is wise. You are not to chase closure. You are to wait for truth. What is being revealed will not come through confrontation. It will come through confirmation. Details will emerge. Words they spoke years ago will suddenly make sense. Patterns you dismissed will now become clear as blueprints of spiritual interference. You are not being paranoid. You are being protected. Withdraw and watch. Pull your spirit inward. Watch how their posture changes when your energy no longer submits. Watch how their words grow desperate when your validation disappears. Heaven is creating a silence around you that magnifies every lie they ever told. Your absence is becoming the amplifier of their actions. Your quiet distance is provoking their unraveling. Because what you no longer tolerate, heaven is now terminating. Your dreams will reveal more than conversations. Pay close attention. Write them down. Billions. Faces. Dooms. Objects. These are not random. They are encrypted messages from the spirit realm. The angels are speaking in symbols. They are giving you spiritual intelligence to decode your next moves. Some of what you will see may unsettle you, but do not fear. These visions are not threats. They are warnings. They are blueprints. They are alerts wrapped in imagery. Declare aloud, even now, I am covered, guarded, and spiritually protected. This is not just a declaration. It is a divine shield. These words are sealing your aura in heavenly armor. The enemy can observe but cannot interfere. The watchers can try, but they cannot win. Because you are no longer standing in the vulnerability of ignorance. You are anchored in awareness. You are positioned in divine protection. And the archangels are surrounding you in real time. This battle is above you. This war is already being waged in realms beyond your comprehension. Your job is not to fight. It is to focus. Your job is not to expose. It is to remain aligned. Let them talk. Let them assume. Let them manipulate the narrative. But trust this. Every lie they speak now is a rope they tie around their own falsehood. They are not escaping the judgment of heaven. Every whisper, every betrayal, every secret, it is all under divine review. There is no need to explain yourself anymore. The truth does not beg to be believed. It reveals itself when the time is right. And the time is now approaching. Your story is shifting. Your name is being cleared. Your spirit is being restored. And your enemies are being revealed not because you hunted them, but because they could no longer hide in your light. Remain still. Remain guarded. Speak only when heaven releases you to. Move only when your spirit gives you peace. This is not cowardice. This is kingdom strategy. This is not avoidance. This is angelic arrangement. Type I am covered in the comments if you are receiving this protective download. Blessing code 3030 is fortifying your soul. You are not who you were. You are not who they shaped you to be. You are not the confused soul begging for crumbs of affection at a table built by dysfunction. Archangel Michael speaks boldly over you now. You are no longer the child they manipulated. You are no longer the tender spirit they underestimated. You are the storm they feared you would become. You are the reckoning they prayed would never rise from the ruins of what they tried to destroy. Let the fire of truth refine your identity. Let the truth, no matter how painful, burn away the residue of lies you inherited. Because who you are was never defined by the hands that raised you. It is now being rewritten by the one who formed you. The same innocence they tried to exploit is now your authority. The same gift they mocked is now your weapon. The same intuition they silenced is now your prophetic compass. You were forged in confusion, but now walk in clarity. Every unanswered question, every contradiction in your upbringing, every wound they blamed you for, it all ends now. Not with bitterness, not with vengeance, but with boldness, with divine closure, with holy finality. You have nothing left to prove to those who refuse to see you. You are no longer invisible. You are no longer silent. You are no longer waiting for someone to rescue you from a fire you were born to walk through. Spiritual wings are forming where wounds once existed. You are rising from places others did not survive. You are standing in the ruins of manipulation and transforming it into revelation. What they used to control you now empowers you. What they did in darkness is now a backdrop to your radiance. You are a testimony wrapped in skin. You are a sign and a wonder, proof that heaven always has the final say. You are no longer a secret. You are a sign, a living prophecy, a walking interruption to generational curses. You are what the enemy tried to prevent. You are what your bloodline had been waiting for. They didn't raise a puppet. They raised a prophet. They didn't create a clone. They raised a conqueror. And now, your roar will echo through the places your tears once fell. Rise. The crown fits the healed, not the hidden. The crown belongs to the one who chose truth over tradition, freedom over familiarity, destiny over dysfunction. You are not broken. You are rebuilt. You are not lost. You are being launched. You are not forgotten. You are favored. If this message resonates with your spirit and strengthens your soul, consider supporting our content through a super chat or a super thanks with contributions of $10. Your support helps us create more messages like this. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type I am empowered in the comments if this is your rising moment. Blessing code 888 is now crowning your next chapter. Hear me clearly now. Your pain was never pointless. It was never without purpose. It was prophecy wrapped in silence, a spiritual blueprint cloaked in human confusion. Archangel Michael brings this revelation, not to reopen your wounds, but to reveal their divine wisdom. The pain, the betrayal, the disappointment, the heavy silence that haunted your youth, was a divine message encoded in suffering. It spoke of the power you would one day carry. It declared the authority you would one day walk in. And now, heaven reveals what once felt hidden. Your pain was the sign of your calling. That relative, yes, the one your spirit never settled around, feared your light, feared your purity, feared the mantle on your life. They masked their envy and false encouragement. They dressed their jealousy in forced affection. They tried to nurture you, but only within the boundaries that preserved their control. They feared what you carried because what you carried exposed what they lacked. Your joy irritated their bitterness. Your dreams disrupted their denial. Your calling became their conviction. God allowed them not to harm you permanently, but to build your discernment. Heaven permitted their proximity so you could learn to see beyond words, beyond behavior, beyond masks. They were a mirror, not of who you are, but of what you would never become. And even now, as the truth becomes clear, you are being equipped with a vision that sees through the superficial. You can now identify betrayal wrapped in blessings. You can feel dishonor beneath smiles. You can smell manipulation, even when it's baptized in family loyalty. This is not just about your past, it's about your rise. Your elevation has already begun, and heaven is cleaning the atmosphere around you. You can no longer carry the weight of false alliances. You can no longer walk in agreement with people who war against your soul in secret. Heaven is calling you higher, but the height demands holiness, a purity not just of spirit, but of environment. What was allowed in your last season will not survive in this one. The betrayal was not your breaking, it was your becoming. Their abandonment trained you in endurance. Your silence built your voice. Their absence became the space where God encountered you. Every setback was a setup. Every heartbreak was a hallway. Every delay was a design. You were not forgotten. You were being fashioned. Archangel Michael says, the falsehood ends with you. The chain of deception. The generational gaslighting. The cycle of silence. It ends now. You are the interruption. You are the severing. You are the one who walks away with truth as your weapon and peace as your reward. The lies that shaped your youth will not sculpt your future. The masks they wore cannot follow you into your destiny. Heaven declares that your next level begins with truth. Not just any truth, but truth that confronts lineage, challenges memory, and calls you out of denial. You are not the version they fabricated. You are the vision God designed. You were not created to preserve their comfort. You were created to establish kingdom clarity. And clarity is dangerous to those who live in deceit. Truth is breaking generational spells. Truth is breaking every spoken curse, every word spoken over you in anger or envy, every limitation they tried to engrave in your spirit. It is all being dissolved now. Heaven is not just breaking chains, it's burning blueprints. You will not rebuild what God destroyed. You will not return to what God removed. You will not apologize for your anointing. The revelation is here. The clarity is loud. And you are ready. Type I receive this truth in the comments if this revelation hits your spirit. Blessing code 1212 is now releasing you into elevation. Speak it now. Declare it with the fullness of your chest and the certainty of your soul. I am not who they painted me to be. You are not the quiet, convenient version they crafted to maintain their illusion of superiority. You are not the scapegoat they used to deflect from their dysfunction. You are not the weak one, the confused one, the dramatic one. You are the chosen one. You are the shifted one. You are the divine one appointed to change the outcome of the entire bloodline. Your voice is a weapon. Not just a sound, a sword. Not just a cry, a call. Heaven has waited for this moment, for your mouth to release what your heart has always known. But you were not created to fit their mold. You were designed to break their mold. You were not sent to adapt to their dysfunction. You were assigned to challenge it. You were not meant to shrink. You were formed to stretch nations. Heaven awaits your yes. A full yes. A bold yes. A burn the bridge if I must kind of yes. This is not a half step. This is not a safe decision. This is full spiritual war. Your yes is your weapon. Your yes is your alignment. Your yes breaks contracts in the spirit realm. Contracts made in bloodlines. Agreements forged in silence. Covenants sealed in generational denial. Your yes severs all of it. Because your destiny demands detachment. It's time to birth what the enemy tried to abort. Time to write the vision. Time to move forward. Time to speak when others hoped you'd stay silent. The enemy targeted you early not because of who you were, but because of what you would become. Your destiny terrified hell. Your awakening triggers panic in those who tried to suppress your power. And now, you walk as a fulfillment of what they feared. Your alignment begins with awareness. You must see clearly now. Who supported you? Who suppressed you? Who spiritually warred against your becoming? It's all being revealed. But awareness is not enough. You must also surrender. Surrender your need for approval. Surrender your fear of abandonment. Surrender your desire to keep peace with those who sacrificed your peace for their comfort. Take the first step. Declare, detach, and advance. Declare who you are. Detach from who they forced you to be. Advance into who you were born to become. This next chapter cannot carry the old cast. You are rewriting the narrative. And no one from the past gets to hold the pen anymore. Destiny is triggered through obedience, not explanation. You don't need to explain your calling to people who mocked your crying. You don't need to validate your breakthrough to those who discounted your bondage. This is a personal walk, a prophetic sprint, a holy collision between who you were and who God says you are. On. Your path is clearing. Your footing is strengthening. Your roar is returning. You are not a follower of dysfunction. You are a leader of divine disruption. Step into it. Own it. Walk in it. If this message empowered your spirit, consider supporting this channel with a super thanks of $5. Every gift you offer helps us bring more of this light and revelation to others like you. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type I am activated in the comments if this is your divine assignment. Blessing code 555 is now unlocking your next level. There are things you didn't say. Not because you didn't want to, but because your spirit knew they wouldn't be heard. There are confrontations you didn't initiate. Not because you were weak, but because heaven told you to wait. Archangel Michael now unveils the divine transactions that occurred in your silence. While your earthly hands trembled, your heavenly witnesses were recording. While your voice was muted by trauma, your spirit was screaming in intercession. And now, child of the Most High, hear this. Heaven has negotiated what you couldn't confront. Every tear you shed when no one believed you, it was bottled and bartered. Every prayer whispered in fear, every question muttered in exhaustion, every time you chose silence over screaming just to survive, it was not in vain. The courts of heaven heard it all. The angels archived it all. While the people around you ignored the signs, the spirit realm gathered evidence. And now, there is a silent exchange happening in the heavenly realms. You thought your trauma was unseen. It wasn't. It was documented. You thought your confusion was just emotional. It wasn't. It was spiritual turbulence, triggered by injustice. You thought they won because they moved on. But no one truly moves on from what heaven has sealed for judgment. They didn't escape. They just postponed the reckoning. What was stolen in childhood is returning in double. The self-worth they crushed is being resurrected in holy confidence. The dreams they mocked are being resurrected with divine acceleration. The identity they tried to distort is being clarified by heaven's mirror. And the gifts you buried to keep their approval are now being dug up by angelic hands and placed back in your possession. You will recover what was lost, not by striving but by alignment. Not through conflict but through covenant. God is rerouting blessings through unexpected channels. Where they blocked your visibility, heaven is raising unexpected voices to celebrate your name. Where they dimmed your light, strangers will recognize your shine. Where they tried to make you feel unworthy, opportunities will now chase you with favor. You are being remembered, not by man but by majesty. The divine record is being opened, and the pages have your name written in gold. Your tears watered a transfer you couldn't yet see. Every private cry was irrigation for a harvest of restoration. Every suppressed emotion was a spiritual currency traded for breakthrough. And now, without drama, without noise, without grand announcements, your life is being rearranged by invisible hands. There is a soundless storm in the spirit realm, a glorious chaos unfolding in your favor. And those who once gloated over your silence will watch you rise in quiet power. You're being paid back in silence. Divine justice whispers loudest. No need to announce it. No need to explain it. Just walk in it. Just receive it. Just let your obedience guide you into the rooms where your name has been supernaturally placed. The exchanges have already occurred. The deals have already been made. The only thing left for you is to walk in the manifestation of what's been negotiated on your behalf. Type "I receive divine restoration" in the comments if you know heaven had been working in your silence. Blessing code 4646 is initiating spiritual recompense. They counted on your silence. They counted on your forgiveness to mean forgetfulness. They thought that if enough time passed, your spirit would stop questioning, your heart would stop aching, and your memory would stop calling. But they underestimated divine justice. Archangel Michael speaks now with a mighty proclamation. They thought you'd forget. But heaven remembers everything. Heaven remembers the way you were spoken to, the names you were called, the dreams they laughed at, the times they watched you fall and looked away. Every wound, every betrayal, every manipulation, it has not been erased. It hath been archived. Heaven keeps receipts. And now, justice is being issued. Not for revenge, but for divine reversal. God is flipping the script. You who were overlooked will now be elevated. You who were dismissed will now be distinguished. The favor that was blocked by familiar spirits is now chasing you down like a river bursting through a dam. The same mouth that spoke curses over your destiny will now have no choice but to witness your crowning. This is not payback. This is prophecy fulfilled. What they planned as ruin will return as reward. What they mocked in you is being magnified by heaven. They saw your struggle and assumed it was permanent, but they didn't account for your covenant. They didn't see the angels circling you. They didn't hear the prayers that covered you when you couldn't speak. They saw the breaking, but not the making. They witnessed the fall but missed the resurrection. The balance is tipping. The scales are shifting. Favor is hunting you down. It's not chasing someone else. It's looking for you. The doors that refused to open for years will now swing wide without a knock. The rooms where you were once denied entry are now requesting your presence. Divine reversal means not only receiving what was withheld, it means being honored where you were humiliated. No revenge is needed. None. Because restoration is louder than revenge. Peace is louder than proof. Joy is louder than justification. When God restores, He doesn't just bring it back, He multiplies it. What was meant to silence you is now becoming your sound. What was meant to erase you is now the echo of your identity. You will walk in rooms they prayed you'd never reach. You will sit at tables they told you didn't belong to you. Your voice will carry weight in circles that once excluded you. And it will not be because you forced your way in. It will be because heaven declared it. Divine reversal is your inheritance. Not because you were perfect, but because you stayed faithful. Not because you never doubted, but because you never quit. You are the divine echo of everything they tried to erase. And now, as the trumpet sounds in the heavens, the earth will witness what the Spirit has already ordained. Your elevation, your vindication, your restoration. They won't be able to stop it. They won't be able to explain it. But they will see it. If this word affirms your spirit, and you feel led to sow into it, consider sending a super thanks of $50. Your support helps us release more prophetic content and truth-filled messages for others like you. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type "I receive divine justice" in the comments. Blessing code 8181 is now unlocking your prophetic reversal. And now, let the silence settle over you like a blanket of heavenly clarity. Let this word, this message, this thunderous whisper of divine truth sink deep into the soil of your soul. For Archangel Michael, warrior of light and guardian of the chosen, has spoken not from fantasy, but from revelation. This message has not come to entertain your emotions, it has come to engage your elevation. You are not the same as you were before these words found you. You have heard heaven speak, and now Michael seals this message with light. You are protected. You are chosen. You are fully seen by heaven. No longer will the shadows of your childhood determine the shape of your future. No longer will you doubt what your spirit knew but your heart feared to face. The deception ends. The silence breaks. The truth rises. And in its rising, you are released. Let peace now fill what truth just exposed. Let divine clarity rush in where confusion once lived. Let every room in your spirit be cleansed by the light that has pierced through this prophetic moment. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt in glory. You are not a victim of deception. You are a vessel of destiny. You are not a memory's prisoner. You are a prophecy's fulfillment. Everything that tried to bind you has lost its grip. Everything that tried to define you through dysfunction has been dethroned. Your story has shifted. Your soul has expanded. And now, the heavens rejoice. Because you heard. Because you received. Because you responded. This was not an accident. It was an encounter. A divine orchestration reaching across realms to find your heart in this very hour. Archangel Michael does not leave you as he found you. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Sent into the next dimension of your journey with armor unseen and favor unmatched. The protection of heaven is now surrounding you. The authority of your true identity is now crowning you. The truth is not just in your ears. It is in your steps. So rise. Walk. Declare. You are the one they said wouldn't make it. But heaven says, you have already arrived. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you've received every word. Blessing code 3333 has now completed this spiritual release.